Jake, now that's a perfect day for the Yankees. Trent Grisham hit a grand slam, and we were just talking yesterday about the concept of keeping him. I feel like I'm being talked into it as we speak. He's just great. Really good fielder, can hit, takes quality at bats. I mean, he's everything you want. 10-2 win over a team I think, Jake, my grandma's bingo team could probably beat. The Chicago White Sox stink. God bless them. But the reason I said this is a perfect day, perfect. Toronto Blue Jays, we talked about this yesterday, Jake. They play a good Milwaukee team. They fall 7-2 finally, right? We get some momentum here. They've been sneaking out some games. Boston, they've been a thorn in our side. They called up top prospect, by the way, Peyton Telly. Sounded like a really good plan, but Jake, I don't know if you watched this game. I know earlier before we went live, you were sort of talking about the prospect they called up and how it looked. The only problem with that plan is they ran into Paul Skeens. Finally, right? Some luck going the Yankees' way. Pittsburgh wins that game. So obviously some tough luck there for Boston. The Yankees are now a half game up of the Red Sox in sole possession of second place. We are just 3 games back of Toronto, who obviously fell to Milwaukee, as I said earlier. Jake, Jazz said 22 hours ago, and I quote, "We're going to win the division, and we're going to win the World Series." And by the way, guys, if you're just joining us for the first time, be sure to subscribe. There will be a winner of a giveaway for a Yankees jersey at 10,000 subscribers. All you have to do is subscribe. And the good news here is that we're right around the corner. We are 29 subscribers away. This is very doable within tonight or by tomorrow morning. So obviously we would love to do it tonight and be able to celebrate it. But Jake, very curious. We're winning games we're supposed to win. Let's not sugarcoat that. But they're taking care of business. I know you were very thankful earlier about the fact that we're still on a win streak right now. We're making progress. We haven't done anything against contenders, but this is a good start. Do you believe Jazz at all?
Yes. The first half. He's just saying, of course, he really does believe, I believe, like, I don't think he's just BSing us. He believes they are going to win the World Series, like other players in this league believe. Like,
That's
why
fair.
would you not think that? If you're one of the top 8 to 10 teams and it's going to be September, if you're sitting there like, yeah, I don't think we can win the World Series, you got the wrong mindset, my friend. But as far as the division, yes, I actually think the Yankees are going to win this division. It's going to be close. I think they're going to win this division, and here's why. Because the Yankees are doing something they weren't doing. I mentioned this to you off air. Mm-hmm. They're doing something they weren't doing earlier in the year, and that is taking care of business against bad teams. Say what you will, and we have been very fair about their schedule. We've been fair on both sides. And maybe even to a degree, there were some people in our comments saying we've been too negative about this team after they've won. And to be fair, I get what they're saying because they have won 6 straight. Doesn't matter who they played. They're all MLB teams. They're 15-6 since August 6th. In that span, that is the best record in the MLB. And this is the closest that they have come to being in the division run here. 3 games away from Toronto. This is the closest they've been since July 22nd. So, Gary, I think it's very fair to say, look, they're playing bad teams, but they're taking care of business against bad teams that otherwise they've struggled playing against bad teams. And furthermore, I would go as far as to say this, they're doing everything they can in their power. Look, the Red Sox series came and went. It sucks. I hate it. They only won 1 game out of 4. But you look, that 15-6, 3 of those were the Red Sox. Everybody else is really, they've taken care of. And so now, we've already talked about the test, right? You get that day off. Then Tuesday, you go to Houston. How do you bounce back? How do you keep going, right? Because right now, the Yankees are in a 6-game win streak, which is the best they've had all season long. Tomorrow, they're staring a 7-game win streak in the face. And if they 4-game sweep the White Sox, and I don't care how bad the White Sox are, it's hard to do that. We've talked about that numerous times in this show. It's time, and I understand how people feel about this team. Trust me, they're frustrating. They are. But at the same time, they have the most double-digit run games this year, right? They're breaking all these different records. They're scoring all these runs. I understand that it feels like they're not doing that against the top teams, but I think you have to give credit where credit's due. And I'm not sitting here saying Aaron Boone is the guy to give credit to, but this team is continuing to stay in the fight. And I see Fool's Gold, Willie Downer in the comment section. I just say this. Who gives a rip? Who gives a rip? Because right now, as far as I'm concerned, the Yankees are taking care of business. They couldn't play these games any better because they've literally won 6 straight and they're 15-6 since August 6th. So we can complain about the Red Sox series, or we can be realists here and understand, look, it's fair to take one side and say, yeah, they've played against bad teams. But on the other hand, we've seen the Colorado Rockies make short work of the Dodgers, okay? This is baseball at the end of the day, and they're doing this on the road now. So we're gonna find out a lot about the Yankees, obviously, to end the season. But I think at the end of the day, you got to give them their props. Like, literally, what more could you ask of the Yankees against these bad teams? They're doing exactly what you would want.
Yeah, and so obviously I don't have as positive of a takeaway of it, but you're absolutely right. If they weren't winning these games, folks would be complaining. They'd be saying just we should have sold, right? Dominguez needs to go. All these players, Will Warren needs to go. Is Cam Schlittler good enough? All that would have been happening. Now, having said this, we're going to know for sure how good the Yankees are, and I'm going to tell you why. In these series, we're hitting the cover off the ball. Now, it's nothing really to write home about and draw a conclusion, but here's something it does literally, Jake. We're not using our bullpen as much as we normally do. We're not. We're able to go out there and have Rodon go out and have all these other guys pitch, and you say, all right, we can go to 1 or 2 guys out of the bullpen, and we're preserving what we have. We're not going into this Houston series with someone like Cruz or Weaver or Leiter Jr. overworked. That's not happening. It's teeing up perfectly. You talked about the day off. How about days off during games? Not having to pitch 4 or 5 guys. That matters. So if we can't win these series in Houston at Fenway Park, we were never going to win them. So here's the good news, guys. This is the good news. Willie, if you don't want to believe in it, right? There's other people in our chat as well who don't believe in it. Not going to try and convince you of otherwise. I just won't. They're going to prove to us exactly what they are here in the near future, and we don't have to worry about winning those games at Fenway and still somehow losing the division. If the Yankees take care of, at Fenway Park, they take care of Boston, they're going to win this division. If they take care of Toronto, they're going to win this division. Now, they have to do that, and I'm not making predictions for them to do it, but if you've got a rested bullpen, you've got an offense that's building confidence, right? Austin Wells took some great at-bats today. He's seeing something hit the grass. Anthony Volpe hit a home run today, looked really good at the plate, something to build on. Is it a conclusion? No. This is the type of way you want to walk into those big series with some level of confidence, not going in on an 0 for 38. This is what you want. Cam Schlittler pitching well. Will Warren, absent of the grand slam, pitched well. Rodon, Fried, all of them pitching well. So if you're ever going to win these games, Jake, ever, it is right now for the Yankees. And I cannot predict that the Yankees are going to go out and win this division, because when we go in and we look up, you can just look at the standings, right? Take a look at them. At records of against teams over 500, super important. What do you do against contenders? If you look at the AL East, all the teams, for the most part, the teams in it, are 500 against teams over 500. They just are. They're essentially going 1-1. The only standout there being Toronto. The only. And they're 6 games over. It's not great. So I think this is doable. I really do. And obviously, now that it's just 3 games, and it's probably going to get tighter given who we're playing. So this is exciting news. It's not a conclusion to draw yet, but guys, I mean, we have a ton tonight for the show. I mean, we have Aaron Boone talking about this whole send down situation with Anthony Volpe. Ridiculous quote. We'll get to all that. But Jake, I wanted to start with Rodon, right? I just think in general, it tells, maybe not about him solely, but about our rotation as a unit. We're starting to bounce the correct direction here. We need to go innings. Our offense needs to score, and it seems like there's less pressure on our starters given what's going on with Cruz returning, right? Weaver coming back to form, Williams starting to come back to somewhat of form, right? You've talked about his resurgence here. What are you seeing right now out of a rotation? Because I know you have to like what you saw out of Rodon today.
Yeah, no, Rodon is learning how to, again, like we're seeing it. He always has to kind of remind himself, yeah, strikeouts are fun, but I need to get through innings, right? So you only see Cruz and Hill and Doval in this one because he eats up 6 innings. And Boone came out and he said, no, I'm not coming out of this game. And I like that, right? And I think it's smart. And honestly, I would have kept Rodon going because it's at that point, it's like, okay, he has 97 pitches, but it's exactly what we've been talking about. So, yeah, I thought that was key and critical. This is what we continue to see, though. Like, I know Will Warren gave up the grand slam that didn't even count for him because the inning should have been over. He's been really good. Cam Schlittler has been an ace. Like, he literally has looked like an ace. Max Fried is back to ace status, right?
Thank goodness.
So, yes, thank goodness is right. So things are starting to really turn around for the Yankees. Then you have Luis Gil. Okay, maybe the last start wasn't his best, but he's shown you some good things. So now you're telling me that the rotation is starting to shore itself up, right? Starting to get back to where it was. The Yankees struggled when they were really good at the beginning of the year. They struggled beating up on bad teams. They're now doing that. So you got that taken care of. The rotation taken care of, despite the fact they don't have Garrett Cole. Marcus Stroman's gone, right? They've been dealing with, Yarbrough was a huge focal point of this rotation. They have had guys in and out, but the most important thing is at the end of August, we're looking at a team that has an established starting 5 in the rotation. They have a bullpen that's only going to get better. And I actually want to touch on that, but we'll touch on, I think you know where I'm going with that, with the bullpen we talked about earlier. But yeah, Yarbrough is going to be back soon, and it adds another dimension to the bullpen, another innings eater, a guy that could go 5 innings out of the bullpen if you needed him to. So really what I'm getting at here is really things are taking care of itself, and the Red Sox, in a way, the Red Sox series is kind of an outlier because we actually don't know who the Yankees are. You see, people are looking at the Red Sox series like they're, they don't do well against good teams, and that's not true, because otherwise, if they didn't, then they wouldn't have the tiebreaker on Seattle. And I love that you brought it up because you're 100% right. The Yankees are 37-37 against above 500 teams, right? So then you have the Red Sox who are 36-36, but you want to do something funny here. Well, how about let's go to the San Diego Padres, who we always talk about. Not only do the Padres have the same record as the Yankees right now, but the Padres are 29-35 against above 500 teams, right?
Yeah.
The Dodgers are only 35-31. Like, the only team that is really pulling away against above 500 teams, the Blue Jays in this division, right? Then, the Tigers are 35-32, not really pulling away, but
it feels that way because we're just getting windmill dunked all over by Boston. That's the gist
what it
of
is.
it. If we were beating Boston, and mind you, we don't mean sweeping Boston, handling Boston. If you're talking about you take a game, we take a game, we take a game, you take a game. If it was going like that, folks would be looking at the Yankees saying, oh, this team's fine, right? It's not maybe as great as you want it to be. This isn't a great team. It's not. But it looks really bad against contenders because they just go out against Boston and get their break speed off. That's a problem. It is. And when you go into Fenway, maybe, because when we were talking about this is the home stretch, now we're at 27 games left in the season, we play Houston. We play Toronto. We play Boston. What if you play Houston well? What if you play Toronto well, but you don't play Boston well? I think you can survive. You can.
Yeah.
You can survive with our remaining schedule. You'll be okay. But what you can't do is go into Houston and drop a series and then think you're going into Boston having success. No, you're not. You need to ride this momentum, and that's the key. And this series isn't over. And by the way, before we get to anything else, I want to mention this before I forget. We received a super thanks on our last video. We always thank everyone who obviously drops a super. JMSX2GC says, thanks, my daughter wants a Tim Hill jersey in small. Thanks. I agree with your mom. Husband calls my healthy foods politically correct. Beef tallow is healthier than seed and vegetable oils. So we really appreciate that. I can't believe we got a whole discussion going on about seed oils in our comment section, but I mean,
amazing, truly amazing.
It's pretty crazy.
We already have 3 subscribers since we started 15 minutes ago. So now we're 28 away.
Okay. So we're not far away. I mean, I wish that we can get there. It'd be awesome. We just have to have a long enough show, apparently, right? But I want to get to our supers. I want to kick it off here with Apex. I believe this is our first one. So Apex, thank you for the 2. Says, not trusting Volpe. Yes, Network loves babying him. I'm going to say this about the coverage, because that's obviously what this super is about. The coverage definitely has gone from, you guys have confidence in this player and we're going to hammer it, to we have sympathy, right? It's turned into a sympathetic watch and we're rooting for you. And guys, we're rooting for him as well. We want it to work. If you're going to play, well, I might as well root for it to work, because if you're not going to play good baseball, now we're going to be losing. So that's pretty much the gist of it. But it's clear as day. Yes, Network is just not. And mind you guys, they're not going to ride it as hard when he's playing good baseball. You're not going to watch, and that ball's gone to dead center field from Anthony Volpe. Still sucked lately. They're not going to do that. That's not the coverage. It's not how you cover a sports team. It's just not. Jake, you watch the Rams, you cover them professionally. You would never do that. You wouldn't see somebody have an 80-yard touchdown and then the next moment talk about how bad of a season he has. It's just not the time. So if he goes 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts and an error that cost the team the game, then you should expect Yes Network to just hammer whichever player does that, but not in a game, no matter who we are playing. In a 10-2 win, you're not going to rip Volpe. So, I was happy to see Volpe do something to help and contribute, get some confidence going. I know they tell us, Jake, he's unshakable. I don't believe that for a second.
No, I don't believe it either, bro. I will say this. Do you know what I noticed with Volpe today? I noticed a little bit more of a compact swing.
Okay, I didn't notice that. I just think swings look better when you make contact. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong, but just nice to see bat to the ball.
Well, yeah. I think the thing is, the whole, dropping the hands, he had a lot less movement. Like, you see, he has this, thing that he does, and then it goes all the way down here. Like, he was kind of stopping here. It wasn't as much of a, you know what I mean? Like a jerk type thing.
I don't know. I mean, I wish I was trying to pay more attention to it. I usually do when it's not working, but we'll see. I'll probably pay more attention to it. Just see if it's adjusted. I would be shocked if he's fixed it, because you usually don't see someone fix it overnight. And I know their hitting coach hasn't fixed it in years. I know this is his first year. So Apex, we really appreciate it. What's up?
I don't want him bunting ever again. What the hell was that? But to be fair, and this is our show in a nutshell, awful bunting attempts, both of them. And the second one bothers me because it's not even in the zone, and he half-ass pulls back, and he fouls it off. It's like, no, you got to pull it, because I used to bunt, so I know. So anyway, he finds a way to put the ball in play. Normally those at-bats, 0-2, he's lost. He's done. It's over. Well, I thought Volpe looked good today. I'm going to give him his credit. I thought he looked good today, and hopefully he will continue to build off it, because from the sound of Aaron Boone, it doesn't sound like he is leaving the starting lineup anytime soon.
Nope, which I think all of us knew. As soon as we saw him get a hit for the first time, it was good as gone. So if you guys were hoping that Caballero was going to be out there, and at the time, 2 or 3 days ago, we would have told you, where's Caballero? You're not going to be winning that argument after a couple of solid games. I know he made the error, cost the grand slam. We know that. They're not pulling him after this. He's built too much momentum. They're going to try and see if they can be proven right long term. We're not, I promise you guys in the comments, you're not going to get your way. I'm just telling you. Apex with the super, thank you for the 2, says with Cruz and Yarby back, I think we can beat Houston, Toronto. So just for those of you who missed the report, this is from Brian Hoke. He had a report a few hours ago, and he said that rosters expand September 1st. Obviously, we knew that. And as expected, Ryan Yarborough will be rejoining the team. That's not a shock at all. We all can't wait for him to be back. Multi-inning option there. And it's going to be JC Escara instead of Austin Slater because of he's on rehab assignment right now. So that's interesting. It's interesting. I know some people were hoping, right, that you're going to get a Spencer Jones. But, Jake, as I said, I just think that positionally, Trent Grisham's playing too good a baseball. Cody Bellinger, kind of same deal. And they're not going to get creative positionally to get guys in the field. I didn't see it. I hear you. I want to see Spencer Jones play just as much as you do. I just didn't see the way that the Yankees do their business. It didn't make sense the way they do it.
I just think it's dumb. I think they absolutely should be calling him up. If, again, the season ends like way before the playoffs, right, for minor leaguers. So it's just dumb. Like, oh, yeah, you're just done. Like, don't you want him to continue to play more baseball, get reps that he otherwise wouldn't have? Yeah, I don't like it. And I like Ascar, don't get me wrong, but it's like, so now there's more of a chance. I'm not saying this will happen, but now there's more of a chance that they're going to play JC Escara on a day, and they're going to have like Paul Goldschmidt or Cody Bellinger at first, and then Ben Rice doesn't get in at all. I don't like it. I know. That's my issue. That's why JC Escara
part of
was
roster
sent
construction.
down.
That's part of critiquing a roster, though. When you critique a roster, it's not just about putting players on a spreadsheet and saying, is he talented? Is that guy talented? What about him? No, it's where do guys play? How do they fit?
Yeah.
If they don't fit and all your talents in the outfield.
Slater had a good day, so.
Yeah, but our top prospects are all outfielders for the most part. Like, it's a lot of outfielders. Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones, those are our two top guys. And now it's like, what do we do with Trent Grisham? Trent Grisham's going to hit
Trent
30.
Grisham's an everyday player.
He's going to hit 30 home runs.
Yeah.
Isn't Aaron Judge an everyday player? Last time I checked, he's going to be the AL MVP if obviously kind of picks it up here. The American League MVP is in your outfield. Trent Grisham, who I'm just going to say it now, I want Trent Grisham back on this team. So now that I've said that, what about Cody Bellinger? I want Cody Bellinger is the first guy I want back on the team. He's a free agent. He's opting out. I'm telling you guys. He is opting out. Very well. That doesn't mean disaster for the Yankees. It could, but that's the first player you want to re-sign if you're the Yankees, if you're Hal Steinbrenner, if you're Brian Cashman. So having said that, do you really want to lose Trent Grisham and then throw a Jason Dominguez in his spot and just hope that he replenishes this type of output? I don't. That doesn't mean you hate the player, but why would you want to see what's on the other side? I don't see it. I just think the type of baseball that Trent Grisham's playing is just something you want to see more of. I mean, you don't just 850 ops with defense doesn't just fall out of the sky.
I guess my thing also, by the way, on the Escara point, I don't really understand why you're going to waste one of his options to just be there, and then you're going to call up Austin Slater when he's done with his rehab assignment. That just seems really stupid.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
not what we would do with the roster, but we're not the GM. No one in our chats. Maybe Brian Cashman.
Yeah,
goes in
I don't
the chat
like
every
the way
once in a while.
they manage I don't like the way they manage their options at all. I mean, Yeri De Los Santos, I don't even think he has any more options. I think they've used them all by now. So, yeah.
Perhaps, right? Perhaps.
Apex is at it again. We clicked it at the same time. Ben Rice continues to be a stud in the making. Yeah, Ben Rice, and this is the important thing. In this game, this was not his game. Okay, he struck out twice. He had 5 at-bats. He grounds into a double play. Yeah, he scores a run. No RBI because you ground into a double play.
Yep.
I think it should be an RBI, but I get why it's not.
Oh, I like that rule. I like the rule. If you got the bases loaded, you roll into a double play. You're cool.
Still batting in a run, but I get what you're saying. It is basically a fielder's choice. So
it's terrible.
But Ben Rice, the piece of hitting to spray it out opposite field, knock in a run, actually bring somebody in with the bases loaded. That is really Ben Rice in a nutshell, because he'll have a day and like basically he's showing you. He'll have days where he goes 3 for 4. He'll have days where he goes 1 for 5. But when it's not going well for him at the plate, he's not one of those guys that's just drowning, right? He can come back, and I thought that was a huge hit, and I think that essentially put the game out of reach when he hit that. It's now 8-1. It's a completely different feel. I felt like that run in the 6th was just like, okay, they have this game on lock. But yeah, no, Ben Rice has been an absolute stud, and yeah, I'm excited for, his future development. I think really if he was going to get traded, he would have gotten traded at the deadline. So I think he's here to stay, and I don't think this is the guy that they're going to trade away unless somebody huge becomes available. You know what I mean? Like, he'd
you're
have
talking
to be a
Paul
part
Skeens.
of.
Yeah, you're talking part of a Paul Skeens deal, which I watched him pitch today. I mean, it's about as fun as it gets. And I'm not telling you guys, let's just start teeing it up for the winter. But as Jake's telling you, Ben Rice isn't going anywhere. He's cheap. He's a great player. And so far his trajectory, if you had to be honest, if you had to pick any player who's good this year, not great, good, that can be great in 2026, it's Ben Rice. It's Ben Rice. There's no other player you'd pick. It wouldn't be Austin Wells. It wouldn't be Volpe. It wouldn't be any of those players. Kyle, welcome aboard. Yankees Unloaded member.
No.
Thank you for doing so.
Already a Yankees Unload member. Just upgraded to diamond level.
Oh, we're getting voicemails? Kyle, welcome aboard, man. Thank you. It's a shame that they don't tell me on this screen that I look at, because I like looking at the actual main screen. It doesn't tell me. So apologize, Kyle, but thank you.
I got the YouTube here. I'm a seasoned vet. So
I told you guys, Jake's got 8 screens.
Yes. Yeah. So here's the thing. Kyle, what you're going to do if you want to leave a voicemail, we're going to be live for, well, let's put it this way. We're not going to be offline anytime soon because it's only been 26 minutes. That'd be the shortest episode in months.
And we're too close to 10K. We wouldn't do that to you guys.
Oh, I think, never mind. You already found it. Don't listen to me. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 voicemails. How about that? So we'll get to those at the end. Yeah, we want to read tons of voicemails. I'm actually curious to hear these voicemails because I want to know if, I know beating the White Sox doesn't have people saying, "Oh, we beat the White Sox, so this means such and such." But I'm kind of saying that, but I get what you're saying. But the wins, just the wins in itself creates pressure. You think Toronto's not looking at the division standings right now? They don't care who we played. They're thinking, "Oh, they get to play him 2 more times in a row. There's a ton of pressure on us." That's what they're thinking. And you look who Toronto's going up against. Milwaukee. I mean, Milwaukee, if I'm being real, nobody should win the World Series over Milwaukee. That team is 84-52. They have great splits all around the board. 26-17 in one-run games. They have a winning record in extra innings. They also have a ridiculous record against 500 teams. 40-23 against above 500 teams. 40-23. So, also league leading run differential 164. They're an incredible ball club. And so Michael K's stat, his favorite stat, finally materializes. It feels like run differential means jack this year for some reason. Yeah. It usually means a lot. But Milwaukee, to your point, is the only team who goes into LA, they'll go to San Diego, go play the Yankees, wherever. We actually played them pretty well this year. But it's kind of crazy. Milwaukee is the only team of all 30 teams that takes care of business no matter who they play. And so it's true. We hope they go Brewers. Man, never thought a Sheffield would say that, but go Brewers. The Brewers are going to, the Brewers fans, if they ever come across this show and they ever find what we were saying about them beginning of the season. Now, I told you, and you also said as well. Yep. I wanted Freddie Peralta. I thought they might trade him. They felt like a fringe team at the deadline that would barely make the playoffs because they don't go away. It's every single year. This is, I'm telling you right now, this manager better get paid. Because if he doesn't get paid, he's going to leave. Like, there's going to be Pat a spot. Murphy, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Good for him. Yeah, he's good because it's no different than when, like, a college football coach is really good at, like, say, Buffalo. Like, they win 12 games. They go 12-0, right? You're at Buffalo. You're going to lose that guy. Like, Buffalo doesn't even have enough money to pay this guy to stay. So he's going to Ohio State if Ohio State comes calling. He's going to LSU. He's going to Mizzou.
Well, Arizona State, they have a new coach every 5 years. He's going there.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So, yeah, I just honestly, if the Yankees get eliminated, and that's a big if, Gary, but no, I'm just kidding. If the Yankees do get eliminated, I think I want the Brewers to win it all. I think that would be really cool. I'd like to see the team that. I'd like to see the team that dominated the whole year win.
Yes,
that doesn't normally happen. I
completely agree. Yeah, because it really it undoes everything, right? It just feels a little. Oh, see, we told you guys it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's like, well, what do you mean by that comment? They played the marathon game. They played 162 games. They played consistently better than you for 6 months, and then at the very end, they had a bad 3 or 4 games. And now they're going home and you're acting like the regular season doesn't matter. Because you know what that does, Jake? It reinforces that we shouldn't care in July. And that's not what I want.
No,
so I agree with you. I want
that.
us to do well. But kind of the problem with that is we played pretty mediocre baseball. Like, we've been really inconsistent. We just have. We weren't beating bad teams. We play the good teams. We couldn't beat our biggest rival in Boston. I know my wife probably thinks it's Houston, with all the times I've asked this team to beat them. But it's Boston. That's our biggest rival. We have to go out and beat them. And that test is right around the corner. God,
who would have thought
just ingrained in my head.
The Yankees starting the season, blowing up the best team in the league. People thought the Brewers were going to be absolutely terrible. But then again, people thought, this is why you don't read too much into week one, or first off, the first game of the year. I remember when the Astros changed their logo the first time. They had Bo Porter as their manager, and they won the game. And people were like, they're going to be so good. They won like 60 games the whole year.
Yep. And people told us when we went and beat the brakes off Milwaukee to start this season, everyone's like, they suck. They are horrible. Not a good baseball team. And I kind of was talking to you about it, Jake. The best time to run into really good teams is the opening weeks of the season. The best time. Because you get an opportunity to kind of throw a punch early, and before they really even get up, a lot of hitters just aren't out of bed yet. They don't get it going to the summer months. Weather sucks. You want to play the good teams. And then when you want to play a Colorado, you want to play them in September. Best time to play Colorado. Best time to play Baltimore's. Best time to play teams that we saw today in Chicago. Because those teams are already talking about being sick of losing. They've taken 130 interviews after losing. They just are understood. They are basically just soaking in losing. And now you get to go to Chicago, I don't know, go get some pizza and then beat the brakes off. Yeah, and go get some pizza and then beat the brakes off them. And by the way, guys, quick update here. We are 22 subscribers away from 10K. Man, we are getting there quick. Scott Ross. Thank you, Scott. Thank you for the 2. Says 19 wins, the road to 94 wins, and that's his target. 19
that's a good
wins
target. That should win the division. That should. And I'm telling you, Gary, it's already happening. This Toronto Blue Jays team is feeling the pressure. They just are.
I'm going to say, if I had to predict who's going to win the division, here's what I think is going to happen with the Yankees. Am I telling you that Jazz is just a buffoon for thinking they're going to win this? No. I see the vision. You have a weak schedule. You're going to go play Houston. Houston's not playing great baseball late. They're not. So you feel pretty confident going into that series that you can take care of business in Houston. Now, here's where it gets interesting. You're going to play Toronto and Boston. Now, Toronto, on the other hand, those games were very close. Very. And we played some of our dumbest baseball. If you guys watched those earlier series against Toronto, we couldn't run the bases right. We were forgetting the outs. Just a bunch of ridiculous mistakes. Now, that doesn't just mean you're walking into the next series and become winners all of a sudden. But what it does mean is that if you can go out there, take a few games against Toronto, the team you really should be worried about is Boston. It all comes down to that Boston series. I think if Boston handles us, they're going to win the division. If we handle Boston, we are winning this division. So it's put up or shut up time. So when Jazz says we're going to go win the World Series and we're going to start by winning this division, well, go prove it in Fenway.
Yeah, show me, don't tell me. Toronto has, so this is the funny thing, the inverse. This is literally a horror movie for the Toronto Blue Jays fans because the Yankees are in second place. And the Yankees have 2 more games against the White Sox, whereas Toronto has 2 more games against the best team in baseball that's not even remotely close.
Yep.
And then on top of that, without an off day like the Yankees get, they have to go to Cincinnati, a team that's fighting to make the playoffs. And those are not going to be easy. Then they have to, this is a 6-game road trip. They have to go to New York. They have to play the Yankees on Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the stadium. So
those are must wins for the Yankees. You're
100%.
Going to the stadium. Those are must wins. You throw the first, the second, and the third punch. You throw every punch in that fight.
That's the last series. And by the way, that puts the Yankees in an incredibly opportunistic position because if the Yankees do win that series, I mean, they could really kind of flush out Toronto entirely. Because depending on how Toronto does, I don't think they're going to win both games against Milwaukee. So at the worst, the Yankees will be 2 games away, I think. And at the best, they'll be a game away with a day off. Toronto could theoretically lose that game to Cincy. And then when the Yankees come back from their day off, they're tied with Toronto to start the day going against the Astros. Now, it doesn't matter because if they get to that point where it's 2 games away and they hold firm on that, they have a 3-game set at the stadium against Toronto. So I think it's actually really setting up well for them. And I think that off day is going to be huge. It's going to come at the right time because I'm telling you right now, people look at that and say they win the next 2 games against Chicago like I'm saying they need to. So they win 8 straight. Why would you want a day off? No, actually, I think that's how you keep the streak going. I think you still need a day off. I don't think it won't cool you down. What the Red Sox didn't need is when they won 10 straight and then the All-Star break came in. Now that was the worst time for them. Because
I'd probably say the most important thing, though, about the days off is for your bullpen. I get it. They can all use a day off.
Well, you're going to need it against Houston and Toronto and Detroit back to back to back. And then, the Red Sox.
Your bullpen will need it. Definitely.
So that day off is huge. I believe that is... they have another back-to-back Mondays off. So they have... Yeah, they have a Monday off before they go to Houston.
Okay.
And then they have the Monday off before they... actually, they're already in New York before they host Detroit. And then they don't have an off day before Boston. I know Boston does have an off day. We talked about that. We never
do. We're going to have to overlook it. Screw it. So what? There's going to be things... Teams, if you look at teams all across baseball, no one gets an opportunity to make any excuses. No one, right? You can look at the Dodgers this season. They'll say, well, we didn't have Blake Snell for half the year, right? Our bullpen's been decimated. San Diego Padres today, they lost Xander Bogaerts for the rest of the regular season. There aren't going to be any excuses. The Yankees don't get a day off ahead of those Boston series. And I know you're not going to use it as an excuse. I know I won't either. No. You go into that series... And as I said before, you need to look at what can we do to fight for these games, and you have to take them. And I love that. I love that we're going to be in that position because that's actually what I want. I want this team to face the ultimate test, and they're going to have to show up post-game either victorious or just a laughingstock, right? Perfect. We can just cut it right in half, and it's going one of 2 ways. There's going to be no way to stand any middle ground. The Yankees are beating Boston, and they're taking care of Houston, taking care of a Toronto team who leads the pack. Well, what can you say then? You just kind of have to take a step back and say, they're getting the last laugh, and this is a good thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then Jay Station here with the Super. Really hope they keep Jacoby Bellinsbury.
So... do I take it that Jay Station is not high on Cody Bellinger?
Well, why would Jay Station really hope they keep? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, my only take is that Jay Station perhaps is not a Yankees fan, and then they want him to keep him so he turns into the next coming of Jacoby Ellsbury. That's the only way I read that super chat. But again, J Station, thank you for the 2. Really appreciate you supporting the channel. Cody Bellinger's one league MVP. He's been great in New York. I've never seen Jacoby Ellsbury do any of those things. So
he didn't he almost won did he win the MVP with the Red Sox?
No, what I mean is that he's never played great baseball with the Yankees. That's really what I'm getting at. I don't know if Jacoby Ellsbury won the MVP or not. I feel like
thought he did, but
I feel like he hasn't, but I don't know. Who knows? And Paul Gold with the 5. Is this, you're good at currencies. What is this?
British pounds.
Why do you know this stuff?
How do you not know British pounds? That's the easiest one.
How do I not know? Why would I know? I don't go to Circle K and be like, here you go. No.
That's the easiest one, though.
Paul, really appreciate it. It's this quick update from a few weeks ago. There you have it. Now got tickets for 1 Jays. On the 5th. 2 Tigers on 9th. And the Red Sox, on the 14th. Can't wait, going to massive games. So Paul saved his money. He's like, you guys can go get the Austin Wells football jersey. You guys can go to all that stuff against the no-name teams. I'm going to the big games. This is a perfect way to spend your money. Remember, guys, I told you, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. You spend your money and go see the games you want to see. If you're going to see any type of games, do what Paul just did. So, well done, Paul. Nice.
Yeah, that's, damn. I mean, you literally picked the most important series of the entire year. It doesn't get any crazier than that.
No, absolutely not.
If they win those series, we're not talking sweep. If they win against the Jays, the Tigers, and the Red Sox, they're in conversation, if not clearly the best team in the AL going into the playoffs.
So what is your prediction for these series? Just like obviously one at a time. So if we play Houston first, right?
Yes.
Do you think we're winning that series?
I do. Yep.
Okay. So I would agree with you. I think we're going to win that Houston series. And that would be considered a step up. Already, our audience, everyone who's listening here tonight, every single in the morning, doesn't matter when you're listening, the majority of folks think that the Yankees are going to play the White Sox this type of way. They're going to play the Twins, the Cardinals, all these different teams exactly like this. They're going to score 12 runs, hitting 5 home runs, and then they're going to show up in Houston, and they're going to drop that series. My prediction is they're going to play well in Houston, and they're going to show up and play the Jays well, and Boston is where I draw the line. I have no idea what's going to happen in that Boston series, but if I had to predict, that's where I think they run into their problems. And if they prove me wrong, I'll be the first person happily to get up here on this podcast and say, wow, something changed. And we're going to have to sit there and dissect why it did.
Yeah, I'll say they win 2 in Houston. I wouldn't be surprised if they swept them because they got Fried, Warren, and Rodon. I'm going to go with the Fried win. I'm going to go with the Warren loss and then the Rodon win. I think they win the next 2 games against Chicago. I told you. I think they're going to win 8 straight. So I think they win 9 straight. The 9-game losing streak comes to an end with the Will Warren start because he's on the road. But I could be wrong.
No, this is a good prediction. I like this. Yep.
So then it comes to an end. Then they win. So yeah, they win against Christian Javier. So Rodon does, right? Mm-hmm. Then you go back to the stadium. You have now, you're 70, 79? So we're going to say 79 and 61, which would be the best record they've had all season. At that point, they're either right on Toronto's heels or they're tied. So then they have Toronto. Cam Schlittler deals. They beat Toronto. Okay? So now they're 80 and 61. Okay? Then you have Heel against Gosman. I'm going to give the loss to Heel on that one. So Toronto wins that game.
Okay.
Then Max Fried against Scherzer. Max versus Max. I'm going to go with Max Fried in that one.
I would agree with you.
So I don't think
Max Scherzer, he's proven that he'll stay out there competitive. He's still got really good stuff, but there's no logical explanation if you're the Yankees to allow that matchup not to go in your favor. It just has to. That's the whole reason you pay the type of money you pay, is to take care of that exact start. So you're right. It's not a foregone conclusion, but these are the games that you have to win. And the Yankees don't have to sweep Toronto. You got to win the series. They don't have to sweep Houston. You got to win the series. Boston, you just got to hold your own. I think, Jake, you said it was a 4-game series. Is that what you said?
No, it's a 3-game, but it's at Fenway.
It's a 3-game, but it's okay. So we had it at Yankee Stadium was 4, and then they get a 3-game set at Fenway. What do you think happens in that Boston series, though?
I like they win a game. I don't think they're going to win the series, but I think they get a game, and I think we'll be okay with that, because I don't know if you've been following. I know Boston got off to a really, got on that kind of hot streak after the Yankees series, but if you've been paying attention, Boston continues to dig themselves into a hole, and they've been playing against some bad teams. I mean, they lost to the Pirates today. I know
they
it's Paul
play up
Skeens,
and down. Let's be real.
Yeah.
The Red Sox are the type of team where they can go into Yankee Stadium. You're like, man, they're just a tough team to get rid of. They just won't go away. Taking tough at-bats. Crazy talent. Crazy young talent. I mean, some of the best in the league, to be honest with you. Then all of a sudden you'll watch them go into pit. They played Paul Skeens today, so that obviously isn't doing them any favors. But they can go into tomorrow's game and just lose 6-1 and just go down without a fight. And then all of a sudden they go into their next series against another contender and they give them hell. Weird team. Boston, I think this makes a lot of sense though, Jake. They're a young team just firing, and they may just show up and lay an egg, right? That's what comes with young talent. They're not as consistent. So Boston is a major threat to us, but to the rest of the league, I think they're much more manageable. It's just they give us fits. I'd avoid them if I were the Yankees.
I will say this. The Yankees get to finish their season against the Orioles, White Sox, Minnesota. Minnesota, Orioles, White Sox, Orioles. Okay? Wow. The Red Sox, if this thing is close, man, after the Yankee series, they got the A's, but the A's are playing really good baseball lately. They're winning a ton of games. They have no chance of really doing much, but they have been playing really well last time I checked. So, they're winning a lot of games. They just swept the Tigers. So, this is not this is not the team that you want to be playing at the end of the season, a team that's playing for pride, but actually playing for pride. They're 63-72. They're trying to get to 500. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because of the way that they've been. They've been on a tear, right?
It's sounding a lot like our schedule is. I'm not just going to act like our schedule thrusts us into the playoffs or maybe into a position that we didn't deserve, but everyone has a weak schedule depending on when you take a look at it, right? Now, you were actually mentioning that pre-show. You said, well, a lot of these teams, they go face the White Sox, the Rockies twice, right? No one was complaining when the Mets were doing it at the beginning of the season, right? Remember when the Mets were winning every game and they were calling it that they had a pitching farm over there, a pitching farm. They actually were saying that. Because Clay Holmes was pitching well as a starter, blowing up Colorado, right? Blowing up these exact teams you're watching now.
Yeah.
And they were, and mind you, I don't mind the excitement. I don't. But what we're not going to do is allow you to get excited for that. And then we get to the end of the season, you're like, you know what? I think they're going to win the division because they get to go play Chicago. They go play Baltimore. They play them all at the end with days off. No, absolutely not. So having said that, I want to have a discussion, an actual deeper dive conversation about Trent Grisham.
Before you get to that, because I do too, but before you get to that, because I had more that I wanted to say on that front.
Go ahead.
Pittsburgh, right? Bad team. They're playing against them. They lost today. They're probably not going to lose this series. But then you got Cleveland. This is the Red Sox we're talking about. Cleveland, they're trying to desperately scratch and claw their way. Then you got Arizona. Arizona's talented, but they're not going anywhere. Then you have the A's. Then you have the Yankees. Then you have the A's again. I told you, the A's are one of the hottest teams in baseball right now. Okay? Tampa, whatever. But then you finish the season. Are you kidding me? You finish the season in Toronto, and then you got to host Detroit in 3 games. It fits so well for the New York Yankees to win this division, gain some momentum, and honestly, if the Red Sox don't watch it, there's a team that could swoop right out from under them. Like, say right now, I'm already penciling in the Yankees are going to only win 1 game. But what if the Yankees win they win that series, or they sweep Boston? Boston's screwed if they get
it becomes
if they
a
lose
situation
that
where
division.
Boston is. I think the way Boston's going to look at that series when they came into Yankee Stadium, right, just a few days ago.
Yeah,
When they were leaving Yankee Stadium, they were thinking, we just want to take these games. But I think when we see them then, if we take care of business elsewhere, and so far we've been pretty decent at it, they're going to look at it and say, we've got to sweep these guys because their schedule's so light, we can't afford to drop a single game. That may be the way they see it, and it could change the actual complexion of the series. And mind you guys, we're telling you they actually have a shot to win this division, and they don't even have to really hold any water against Boston. That's essentially just a season-long ass-kicking for the Boston Red Sox, just belt to ass to the New York Yankees, and you still don't win the division. That's the importance of strength of schedule. This is the reason why at the deadline, and you hate to say, oh, the 4th easiest schedule in baseball, and then sort of tee that up as the leading force as to why you're going to go where you go. But it is a reality for some of these teams. Some of these teams in baseball, and we were one of them, played a tough schedule in the first half of the year, and then we get to reap the benefits later.
No, absolutely. So yeah, I just wanted to hit on that. I think I'm not saying Boston's going to miss the playoffs, but I think Boston's absolutely screwed if they fall down to the 3rd spot in the wild card. I don't think they're a team that is so predicated on essentially riding the wave. They're very streaky. They're young. You can't limp into the playoffs. Not with that young team. I saw it in the comment section. Drew was saying that they'll fizzle out. Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're very young. So we'll see. I mean, I don't think the Royals, Guardians, Rangers, Rays, or Athletics are going to get into and take any of those spots. I will say the baseball fan in me, the pure baseball fan in me, is rooting for the Athletics to take one of these wild card spots. I think it would be so fun to watch this team. Just the way they're playing right now.
It'd be quite the karma. They're like, we're going to play such bad baseball, spend no money at all. We're going to get a new stadium in Las Vegas, and that'll be ready in like a year. And then they make the playoffs. It'd be kind of crazy. I mean,
I know.
I personally, I can't root for them, but I hear your story here.
I get it. I like the players. I mean, most of the owners are
fault.
total ignoramuses. Okay, so
It's not their fault.
obviously, but I like the players, and also the A's fans that stuck by this team, despite the fact that the team is absolutely. This is a very symbiotic relationship. You give us money, we don't give you product. That is your relationship with the A's. They had you sitting in the worst stadium ever built. Built.
I just tend to look
awful.
at owners. When I see a stadium that, first of all, smells like piss. For anyone who's been to the A's stadium, what a joke. Just a total joke. They didn't deserve that. It's outdated. You guys needed renovations, new stadium, something to fix this problem. And they didn't want to fix it. And they got rewarded. We'll send you to Vegas. And Vegas is going to be great. Vegas is going to be great for them. And obviously, don't send Shohei there, but it should be a good time. I didn't think of it. I saw it on Instagram. Nobody blame me.
Oh,
and
man.
Tonto, thank you for the 2, says these Yanks are the NCAA equivalent of NIT champs. Love that.
Man, that's brutal.
You know what, though? Here's the good news. And again, thank you for the super. It goes to show you that a lot of these supers that are saying, you haven't proven anything to me, you know what? They're right. Those people are right. That you can't act like the Yankees have proven anything yet. But what the Yankees are proving is that pressure's going to be applied regardless. We're going to get to those series, and if the Yankees fall to Houston, they'll have no one to blame but themselves. They'll finally be able to say, you know what? We didn't pick it up earlier in the year. We said we were going to do it. Jazz has some quotes for us to throw on IG. Great. You didn't deliver. And so they'll know why they're being criticized the way they're being criticized if they don't do it. But if they do it, Then all these people who said you didn't prove anything to me, you get to all show back up and say, you know what, I was wrong about this team. And maybe I was wrong, right? I predicted 88 wins. If obviously earlier a prediction was we need to win 19 of those games remaining to go to 94 wins. So I think my prediction would have us somewhere in the 13, 14 win range. So it'll be interesting to see where we go. We are now 15. I don't know if you've been checking, but we are now 14 subscribers away from 10K, 10,000. It's insane. There were some people who left us actually some really nice comments that have been subscribers since year one, first month. I went back and looked at some of our videos, Jake, and I just feel like I would have been devastated if I saw them today. But I looked at him and I was like, wow, 118 views. Wow, 92. We had a video that had 92 views, and it's like, that's not even bad. 92 people is still a lot of people. But it was wild. It was crazy to me.
I have a humbling thing to say in regards to that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for anybody out there that wants to do content, wants to create, make anything, put it out there, and are afraid of how they're going to be viewed or their views and who. I'll just say this. If you have 90 people live, now, because of what you guys have done for this channel and how our audience and listenership has just completely taken off. I mean, we have over 500 people in here, and it is past midnight.
Make sure to like the video.
Yeah, do that. But you guys have set the tone where now 90 people, we'd be like, oh, okay, it's a dead night. But we don't forget where we started, okay? So 90 used to be like, oh, damn. Also, keep this in mind, if you ever start your own thing, right? 90 people, you ever want to feel really good about anything like that? Imagine 90 people in a room. Think about that. 90 people in a room. That's a lot of people. It's easy to forget when you're looking at a screen, it just shows a number. But 90 people are watching you, that's a big deal. 50 people even watching you is a big deal.
In high school, I used to give presentations in front of 20 people. Yeah, I'd probably give myself more credit. It was probably 29 people. There were 30 of us in there. I'd shit myself.
Oh,
30
dude.
people in there. Hey, Gary, go ahead. You're going to get your presentation all set up. Make sure you go through it at home to make sure it works and everything. Email the teacher the day before so it's there. I'm freaking out the whole day before it. All that. So that's really what this feels like when you first start. It's a PowerPoint presentation. That's what you feel like. But now it feels much more like a conversation. What really helps us out is the chat. It's been awesome. We also have a new member here, Mr. Shaman 76. Welcome into Yankees Unloaded. Really appreciate that.
Second deck. We appreciate
Second deck. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's funny what you were just saying, because I get it a lot where people are like, oh, like, I bet you'd be a great public speaker because you're constantly, no. My face would be as red as this shirt.
So you don't want me to give you a mic when we do
No.
When we do we meet our audience at Yankee Stadium in the Audi Club? Like, you don't want me to throw you a microphone? I'll talk, but you don't want to talk to the group?
If we can do that, I'm down. But like, I mean, like, going on stage and everything, like talking to 1,000 people. Like I said, I've hosted over 1,000 people live concurrent. We have hosted over 1,000 people live concurrent, but it's a lot different when you're seeing a number as opposed to seeing 1,000, and it's not even 1,000, it's 2,000 eyes that are staring right at you. And you're like, okay, yeah, no big deal. Face definitely isn't turning red. And then you feel the face turning red, and you're like, all right, this thing, we're shot. This thing's done.
Yeah, I guess you do have to look at it and say, what in the world, what's the worst that can happen? You just have to talk. I mean, it's just, in the end, it's just
people will
us.
just see my face get flushed because it turns red, man. It just does. I can, like, one-on-one, man, I got the charisma on the level of anybody. I could talk to anybody. You know that. I have no issue talking to people. But when it's out on like a platform, like a literal platform on a stage, and I'm looking at, and they're all, that's different. That is different. I could do a meet and greet.
My
I've
mom
done
will
that
tell
before.
You.
But
yeah, because I mean, you've done it before. You did it with your Rams channel. You've met people at football stadiums all over the place.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm a talker. So my wife literally just said it today. She's like, "Geez, Gary, you talk a lot." She literally said that to me at the grocery store.
That's why we
She's
get
like,
along so well.
She's like, right.
We're both yap and yapper.
Yeah. Even my mom will tell you. And mind you, she won't, I promise you, she's in my comments. She's a mod of ours. She won't even give you a single remix to what I just said. I guarantee you. There'll be times when my mom will be like, I can tell she's not talking as much because I'm talking too much. So then I have to just dial it back, and then she hangs up on me. It's great. So so now that's the reason we've got a podcast. We've got two talkers here. But I wanted to talk about, we are now in Ninja, yes, your friend, Gary Yapfield. Appreciate it.
I love that.
Appreciate it. Ninja, yes. We did get that extra subscriber. We are at 14 away from 10,000. I wanted to talk about Retro Tony. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I went on Reddit today and I saw there were a lot of people who were recommending our podcast, which was pretty cool. It didn't seem as negative as I thought it would be. As soon as I saw negativity, I was like, I'm getting out of here.
Oh,
but
I forgot to do that.
Good.
It's so fun. Like, I mean, I do it every now and then. I don't do it all the time, but like just Googling yourself or like checking on Reddit what they're saying about you. As long as it's not the Rams Reddit, because they're always saying negative shit about me.
No, it was pretty positive. I was surprised. Like, Twitter, everyone's on their high horse. They all think they're winning Nobel Peace Prizes for saying nice things. They're stupid. But Reddit, I was expecting it to be way more negative when people were recommending our show. They didn't. They really didn't. Yeah. So it was pretty good. But I wanted to talk about Trent Grisham.
Shout out to the people recommending our show. But yeah, let's talk about Trent Grisham.
So Trent Grisham, in my opinion, is just playing. I think I said yesterday, I did. If this contract goes north of 4 years, I'm backing off. However, if the contract is 4 years or less, I am paying Trent Grisham and I want a reunion. I understand this is an outlier season. He didn't do this in San Diego. At the time, he was a fill-in, and the reason he was filled in is because he was making some coin from San Diego, and they wanted to shed some of that money. San Diego at the time was dealing with some financial problems. That's the reason he showed up here to the Yankees in the first place. The Yankees did like him, but the Padres liked giving up that money even more. So, Jake, Trent Grisham, in my opinion, has shown way too many signs, not flashes, signs of something that is going to work in 2026 and beyond. What I know you like Grisham. I think all of us like Trent Grisham at this point. But I guess the key here is if this deal is 4 years or less and you bring him back, you're creating somewhat of a problem. They call it a good problem to have. I don't. If you sign him to a deal, he's playing. Spencer Jones is an outfielder. Jason Dominguez is an outfielder. Cody Bellinger, if you resign him, is an outfielder who can go over to first base. You get some flexibility there. But Jake, what's your opinion on what we should do with Trent Grisham? Is it just something we should kick the tires on if it falls our way? Or do you make sure this gets done?
I think you got to do it, man. Here's the thing. This is not a salary cap league. So there's really not a lot of risk. You've already shown that you're willing to take on Ryan McMahon and $16 million there. You've already shown you're willing to pay Aaron Hicks after one good year. Okay? Mm-hmm. You've already shown that you're willing to give DJ LeMahieu a contract that's pretty extensive, and you know that it's not going to age well at some point. You know that when you're paying him. You are willing to give Juan Soto nearly $800 million, a guy that you know will be a DH 5 years into that contract, and that'll be an 11-year DH, thus clogging the DH spot. You knew all of that. Why is there anything to say, about going after Trent Grisham and bringing him back when you know he fits New York? The thing I will say is this: these kind of 1 year wonder things don't happen in New York. They happen in Colorado. They happen in Pittsburgh. They happen in Cincinnati. Really good example. He's actually in the farm system right now. He's playing in AAA. Heimer Candelario. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
He had like a 1 year where it was like, oh my God, this guy. We talked about him on my Rams channel. That's right. We did talk baseball on my Rams channel before it became a full-on Rams channel. But we did a trade deadline special. 40 people tuned in. But Heimer Candelario was the guy we were talking about. And it was back when he was on the Nats, and the Cincy Reds actually acquired him. And I look at guys like that. It's nothing against him, and I'm not trying to like call him out directly. Right. But like think about like Brian Reynolds for the Pirates. Wasn't that long ago people were talking about him like he was going to be this can't miss star. The Yankees need to go out and trade for him. He signs with the Pirates. He hasn't been the same. So like what I'm saying is that typically speaking, you see those one-year wonders, they happen in different locations. The Yankees, that does not happen. Guys don't just do well here and then struggle, okay? They either can play here or they can't.
And Are there any players you could name that had a really, like a great year? Trent Grisham's not having a good year, and we want to just see more good. He's going to hit 30-plus home runs this season with great defense in a premium position in center field.
36th in OPS. 36th.
So what do you think about this concept?
In home runs.
You're absolutely right. Dom D brings up a really good point. And mind you,
this is
Dom's
100% factual.
He's clearly on the opposite end of us on this discussion, but here's the value in it. So Dom, thank you for being involved in our live chat. We really appreciate it. And we'll get to our supers, so we're not going to miss you, Ross and Mark. So thank you guys for being there. Dom brings up that barely any contracts age well. Now, this is true, but you also have to remember, what's the alternative? Here's the alternative. You say no to Trent Grisham. Now, money comes off the books, objectively speaking. Now, in hindsight, you go into the season, Spencer Jones is a must to play. Jason Dominguez is a must to play. And if you bring back Cody Bellinger, he probably slides over to first base. Now, having said all of these things, what's the hit rate on top prospects? How high is that? Is it as
20,
high?
Is it 20%? 15%?
It's probably under 20%, safely to say. We're talking top prospects in the sport. How often do those players end up being key contributors? Like in the top of the roster? Probably less than 5%. So understand something. You're not just saying yes to money for Trent Grisham. You're saying also behind that, if you give him a no, you're saying yes to something else. You're saying yes to Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez, that they're going to replenish this value. Now, if they do, Dom, it makes you look really smart. It's obviously the cheaper way to go, but there's more risk than what people think there is. People don't acknowledge the risk of choosing to go young. You have to hit on young. And there are a lot of teams in this sport. Hey, Jake, an organization who said, no, we're not going to go vet in free agency. We're not going to spend waste that type of money. We're going to go young player. And they're top prospects, top of the draft, the Baltimore Orioles. And Baltimore is currently sitting at the bottom of the division. Are we Baltimore? No. Is losing Trent Grisham going to turn us into Baltimore? No. But the point is, waiting on prospects isn't a sure thing just because you said no to the money. So I'm a big Trent Grisham guy at this point. I think he deserves to be here. I think he wants to be here. And if the price is right, I make it happen.
What kind of message does it send if next year in the lineup, Trent Grisham's gone, but hey, we have Anthony Volpe, Austin Wells, and Ryan McMahon? What? The guy who was 36th in the league in OPS, you let him leave, and think about. I really want you to think about this. The message it sends: we can't pay Trent Grisham, but we'll give up a prospect to go and get Ryan McMahon and pay him $16 million.
That's right.
I think that's a really bad look. Really bad. I think it's horrendous.
It's quite bad, and there's not really a way to justify it. But you mentioned something in the very beginning here. Mm-hmm. What's it to us to spend the money? If this was football and we have to restructure contracts, you got to get so creative to get people in the mix. You can easily, you can say, well, if we bring in Trent Grisham, it massively impacts our chances to go get a bigger fish in Cody Bellinger for that reunion. You can make that argument if this was the Houston Texans. This isn't. This is the New York Yankees. It's a matter of if Hal Steinbrenner wants to write a check or not. So if I have the choice to spend a little bit more coin and have Trent Grisham out there, and it takes a spot away potentially from one of Jason Dominguez or Spencer Jones, more likely Jason Dominguez if we're being honest here, is Jason Dominguez going to be better than a 30 home run season with an ops of 840 playing this type of defense? How much better does Jason Dominguez have to be? So I want people to understand, even if Dominguez did get that good, we'd have to pay him this money anyway. So I'm shocked to say this, but Trent Grisham, as much as I was sarcastically calling him Trent Bonds at the beginning of the season, that was sarcasm. He is a thorn in the side of other teams. He's an annoying at bat, and I need more of those.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at right here, and shout out to Spotrac. They have a calculated market value thing here.
Okay.
And so they take comparable players when they sign the contract, and they just kind of mash it all together. Trent Grisham would be a 4-year, $47.6 million deal. I don't know why on earth you wouldn't do that.
It's not huge risk. We've paid Zach Britton more money than that, by the way, guys.
Kevin Kiermaier got $10.5 million. He's so much better than Kevin Kiermaier. I don't care about, he's got a great glove. Don't get me wrong. But we're talking about a guy, like you said, he's going to slug over, he's going to have an OPS in the 800s.
Yep.
And I really want people to get away from the whole one-year wonder thing and think about it, because I'm sure people thought Cal Raleigh was a one-year wonder when he hit 30 home runs the first time. And now he's turned into a star. And I'm not saying Grisham... Yeah, I'm not going to say Grisham's going to be 50 home run guy or anything like that. I'm not.
No.
But what I will say is I am actually, just because people want to be right, they'll just say, yeah, don't pay him, because I know that he's not going to be worth it, and we'll just let him figure that out on another team. I'm not willing to do that because, again, to your point and what I brought up, the salary cap, there is none. So you could pay him $11.9 million. That's less than DJ LeMahieu. That's about the same as, I think it's a little bit more than Aaron Hicks per year. And
yeah, he was at 10.5. That's right.
Yeah, it's less than Ryan McMahon. But there is a real chance here, Gary, that this guy has found it. He's just unlocked something. And I actually believe there's a 75% chance this is who he is, and he's unlocked something. And guess what? That's not crazy to say, because look at right here, Gary. Ooh, magical. Round 1, 15th overall. And he's only 28 years old.
Do you know what I see? I'm actually shocked, Jake, that it's not the first thing you notice. Is there anything you notice on this screen right now? I'm not even going to give you any hints. Anything. It's the most important thing to you in a negotiation. Take a look.
Well,
not
he's 28.
Age. He's 28. That's a good thing, right? He's a young player. He's not as old as Gary here as a podcaster. Now, is there any other thing you notice? I'll give you one other hint. And mind you, I promise you're going to care. You're going to care.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at his agent.
ISE Baseball.
Do you notice how that doesn't say Scott Boras?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this massively increases the opportunity that Trent Grisham is going to give the Yankees. He's not going to give them this won't be a Groupon to get him back. You're going to have to pay. This is still big money. Let's not act like $12 million is just chump change. It's a lot of money. But to the Yankees, if he was represented by Scott Boras, he's not taking a discount to come play with the Pinstripes. There's no Yankees client that's taking a discount, with Scott Boras. It's not happening. So that matters. That's a part of the equation. Now, again, Jake, when we say, what do they call us, a win now organization? They say that the Yankees, we got to win now. We care about the future, but if we don't win in 2025 and then next year in 2026, that's a problem. Well, if you lose Trent Grisham, right, and you take no risk in this way, it is a risk. Let's not act like it's not. It's a risk. He could regress back to the mean.
He could.
And you end up paying $13 million, $12 million a year for a player who hits 220, he hits maybe 15 homers and plays good defense. That's too much money to be playing for good defense. Now, you lose that. Can we replenish that with our rookie talent next year? The chances are high that it's a no.
Yes, very high. I actually think that's a really good point. You can leverage having Jason Dominguez if you don't trade him and Spencer Jones into this is a no-brainer, because think about this. if Trent Grisham ends up being Trent Grisham that you expect, you can now trade Jason Dominguez safely. But if Trent Grisham starts struggling, Jason Dominguez, Spencer Jones, those are your options. But I feel like this journey is not supposed to end. He's supposed to stay in New York. I feel like if the story's written correctly, Trent Grisham is supposed to stay in New York. And the last thing I'll say is this. This is a movable deal. What I mean by that is this is if he doesn't work out, he still has that 28 home runs on the resume. They can trade him.
Easily.
They can trade him at the deadline. So I think it's kind of a no-brainer. Like, truthfully, I think it's a no-brainer because, again, it's not a salary cap league. Like, if you're telling me I have a finite amount of money to spend and I can spend it on a guy who's a one-year wonder who may have unlocked something, but I don't have the allocation to test that out, we see this a lot in the NFL. Your team actually just went against the grain and did a Trent Grisham deal. Okay? They just signed Zach Bond this offseason.
Yep.
Bond was a one-year deal who,
That's right,
throughout his career, could not find any success. Right?
Never did anything. They move him. You're saying, hey, you're going to go to linebacker. He was a dynamo.
Defensive player of the year should have been, right?
Yeah.
He ends up getting a long-term deal.
Yep.
Time will tell if that was the right move. I believe, just like I believe Trent Grisham would be the right move for the Yankees, I believe the Eagles made the right move in signing Zach Bond. Because I think there's the pessimist and the optimist and then the, whatever. I think the pessimist always is going to say, more than likely, this is a guy that he's a one-year wonder. But Zach Bond was a top draft pick, in the first 2 rounds. Trent Grisham is a former first-round pick. I think it's more than likely they just unlocked something. And lo and behold, Trent Grisham found a way to unlock something with the New York Yankees, and Zach Bond unlocked something with a team that was just in the championship game and won it in the Philadelphia Eagles.
Happens all the time.
It's almost like guys unlock things when they go to good teams.
Happens all the time. You saw it with Justin Turner. Justin Turner, a lot of people think, Justin Turner, the Dodger. Justin Turner used to play for the Mets. He was horrible. Not a good baseball player. Shows up to the Dodgers. Hey, here's a leg kick. Justin Turner ended up being one of the most solid players you'll ever watch. He was a postseason, like one of the toughest postseason at-bats you'll watch. Very good player. A staple for years. Right? This happens. And you can easily talk yourself out of this. But like you said, I think the key takeaway here, and it'll be the final thing I say, is really reinforcing your point about movable deals. If we sign Trent Grisham to an 8-year deal for $10 million a year, yeah, we're stupid. Yeah, even if you're like, hey, he's 28, here's an 8-year contract. It'll take him till his age 35, 36 season. That's a dumb contract. Makes no sense at all. But when you're going 4 years, by the time you really, if it's not working out, you want to move him, you're probably talking 2 years down the road. You're moving a 2-year, essentially $22, $23 million deal. That's not hard at all to move in today's game. Do you have any idea how much money defensive center fielders are going to go for 3 years from now? It's going to be anywhere from 10 to 15 million. That contract will be fine. So I hope Trent Grisham's back. I obviously really appreciate what he's doing. It's not easy to be a throw-in on a trade. It almost feels like you're just kind of in the back seat, waiting around till someone tells you what your role is going to be. Verdugo played over him. Let's be real about what happened here. And he still stayed professional. It kind of goes to show me we need more professionals in this clubhouse. I can't stand losing one of them and then just hoping a rookie finds his way onto the field and replenishes this. I don't believe it. I don't.
I love that you brought up Verdugo. I mean, that,
isn't it ridiculous? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it makes me feel less about Aaron Boone. Like, and I already, where I'm at on Aaron Boone. But, man, because, I do think he unlocked something, but do we really think he unlocked something this year? Or do you think maybe it was the potential that he already did it, and last year he just never played, that he couldn't get into any sort of rhythm? I don't know. We'll never know.
No, we will never know. We'll know next year. We'll know next year if the Yankees bring him back. We're going to see in hindsight. We'll probably see around the break if all of a sudden you see the chase rate is just dismal and whatever, we'll know right away if that was the right move. And then if he ends up, I don't know, he ends up back in San Diego, he goes to the Dodgers, whatever, right? They get rid of Conforto, they throw Grisham into their outfield, and if Grisham's hitting homers for the Dodgers and playing good D, well, we'll know in hindsight, oh, I guess it probably wasn't the smart decision to throw Jason Dominguez in left field every day. Maybe not. So Ross Brand, we can get Grisham off the screen. We gave Grish some love there. So
this is the most love he's ever gotten on this show.
Absolutely, and he deserves it.
He
and
does.
Ross Brand with the 20. Ross, thank you for the super. Really appreciate that. Says, congrats on the success of your show and channel. The Yankees bullpen is shaping up to be the best in Major League Baseball. So I think the Yankees, I don't agree that we have the best bullpen in baseball simply because I don't love our back end of our bullpen. I don't think it's like a shutdown bullpen.
Can we segue
into what?
Buehler.
Oh yeah, we can certainly talk about it just after this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to talk about the Walker Buehler thing. And for those of you who don't know, Walker Buehler was released today. And here's a kicker. If he's signed to any contender, it's still just in time. He will be eligible for the postseason. So that also matters. Very interesting there. So Ross, again, thank you for the 20. Really appreciate that. Thank you for getting involved in Yankees Unloaded. Welcome in. We are now 11 subs away from 10,000. So yeah, Ross is here obviously to help us with our growth. So could not be more thankful. But to mention this thing about the bullpen, I don't love the back end of our bullpen. I like what Devin Williams is doing. He's starting to come into his own, right? He's finding his footing in New York, at least a little bit here. Obviously, weaker competition, but it's still something. The location, the movement's all there. Weaver's been great of late, right? Really good. Back to himself. Cruz is back on the field. That's important. Yarborough is coming back to the field. That's important. Helps protect some of those guys, not having to go multi-inning, as Boone likes to say, none of the other guys can do it. All right. Well, now you have Yarborough. No excuses. But Jake, there's a ton of depth in this bullpen. I think we knew that after the deadline. It's just a matter of if you love our options in the ninth inning. You love the option in the eighth. I think there's some options like maybe a Mason Miller and Suarez. I like that back end better, but our depth is very good around the league. Yeah.
And I think, kind of looking at the whole thing with Walker Buehler, I think, really, is that a need? No. But it'd be nice to have another guy that can go multi-inning, because Mark Leiter Jr. is probably going to be a part of this bullpen. So I am probably going to guess, even though they had a lot of interest in Buehler in the offseason, I'm going to guess that they don't get him. That's just my feeling.
Is there any room, like from a technical standpoint, what do we have to do? Like, would it be Leiter Jr.? They would have to be kicked off the roster? Because I don't see them doing that at all, unfortunately.
Well, here's the interesting thing. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
So I was trying to do the math if they get Buehler.
Mm-hmm.
Their pen has 8 spots and then you have 5 starters. However, you can configure your roster however you want in the postseason. You need 13 pitchers and 13 hitters in the regular season. But the postseason, you can keep 14 and 12 or 15 and 11. So there is a way to fit Leiter Jr. and Buehler in this bullpen if they wanted to go that route. So this is how I see it. If they get Buehler, I don't know if Leiter makes this roster if they keep 8 guys. If they keep 9, right, that means it's a fewer bat. And you would do that if you really feel like you're going up against a team that is going to be working counts left and right. They're going to be a pain in the ass. That's a team that you would probably go 14 and 12, right? You go 14 pitchers.
He's not taking a spot from Leiter Jr. And that's not me saying that maybe I wouldn't take Leiter Jr. off the postseason roster. We had this conversation last year. There were a lot of people who were like, why would he be on this postseason roster? Then you saw how he did it.
Splits.
Then you saw how he fared against the Dodgers. He was missing bats against lefties, like you're mentioning. He actually showed up and helped the team. He was a part of the solution. But the Yankees know all this. They didn't trade for him for no type of reason. They're not going to give up on what he's doing so that they can take a flyer on Buehler, who they were interested in this offseason. If they were in love with Walker Buehler, they would have signed him this offseason. They would have done that.
Well, no, he chose the Red Sox.
He did, but he also wanted to play for the Yankees as well, which I knew before he signed in Boston. And the reason I say that is because in order to get any of these players off of the depth chart, off of the postseason roster, something would have had to happen. I know you said, like, we don't love the Tim Hill action, but of late it's been better, right?
Yeah, no, Tim Hill's fine right now.
He's been fine right now. But Mark Leiter Jr., on the other hand, there have been all types of stuff. You have the injury, right? Over usage, we covered that. But are the Yankees going to make that choice? Walker Buehler, it's not like he's some polished product just sitting out in the market. This is a guy who was released for a reason. He's struggling. He was struggling in Boston, and he had already been moved to the bullpen, and it wasn't working. So having said that, I think it would be a little bit of a reach. I think if the Yankees maybe weren't as aggressive in terms of volume, like maybe if that Doval trade didn't happen at the very last second that shocked the world, now you can actually justify that, okay, Blackburn comes off the roster, we replace him with Yarborough. Then Doval doesn't exist. Now a Buehler can step in. But given to what's happened, I think Buehler is just kind of like a shiny project toy that's out there. I just don't see it happening.
No, I don't think they're going to do it either. I would be open to it, though, and I would expand the roster potentially for him. I would. Of course, dependent on, like, and that's the thing. They don't even have to make that decision when they sign him either. They can just leave him off the postseason roster.
Right.
But I think it does make sense to sign him. I do. And especially with the September call-ups, too. And the injuries now, Johnny Lowe, I do think it makes sense. I do. But yeah, I really kind of looking at the postseason roster real quick because they are going to make the postseason. I don't care what anyone says. I got to be honest with you. It's going to be interesting. Like, because is Ben, and this is really only the Yankees can answer this for us, right? Is Ben Rice, because Judge will be in the outfield in the postseason, I have no doubt about it. They might not even let him play the rest of the regular season just to make sure he's ready for the postseason. Because they can't have just games without Stanton. He's their best player. So
I have no idea what's happening with I don't even know what to believe. They could give me an answer tonight. Here's what to expect from Aaron Judge in the outfield, and I wouldn't even believe it.
So it's going to be interesting, though, because, like, is Ben Rice... Do they trust Ben Rice to catch in the postseason?
I think they should.
I do too. Because I just... Dude, if you think Austin Wells is bad now, that October last year is one of the worst I've ever seen from an individual player.
I think that matters. When you're talking about should you trust somebody, you also have to consider what's the alternative. The alternative is Wells catching, and Wells is a good catcher, not a great thrower. So teams are still going to be running all over the place, right? They're going to be aggressive. Now, again, he's a good catcher, great framer, great blocker. All that's good. Here's what it also means. It means Ben Rice has to go play first base. And then you know what we're also going to see? If you commit to the Austin Wells catching thing in the postseason because you just want a better catcher back there, you're going to see Ben Rice on the bench. And they're going to tell you guys, oh, no, this is okay because Ben Rice is a weapon off the bench. That's not the right play. It's not the right play. I understand there's pros and cons to everybody, and you can just read the pros of Wells and then just ignore the cons. There's a major con, and that con outweighs the pros of Austin Wells. You have to play Ben Rice at catcher. There's too much going on with the bat. He's got to be your mainstay catcher. And of course, if he needs a day, you give him that day physically, and maybe you spit him over at first base, especially against a right-handed guy. And if it's against a lefty, then you give him the day off. But if it's not physical, Ben Rice is an everyday player at this point, postseason or not.
I agree completely. And by the way, I think it's very easy to see. This is probably the easiest Yankee 26 postseason roster we've ever seen.
I agree with you. Yep.
It's so, like, and actually, I'll reinforce it like this. I think the Yankees have a roster that's better for the postseason than it is for the regular season. Like, I feel like having Austin Slater come back, I don't even know if he's really that valuable in a regular season on a team like that. but in the postseason, he's going to be incredibly valuable because you have those splits, right? And now you can go to him off the bench. You have Rosario. You have those splits. You can go to him off the bench. Caballero, I'm telling you, he is the Dave Roberts for this team, and we are literally going to see it in the postseason. But I mean, very simply put, Wells, Rice, Jazz, Volpe, McMahon, Bellinger, Grisham, Judge, Stanton, Goldschmidt, Caballero, Rosario, and Slater. Those are your 13 bats. Your 13 arms: Fried, Rodon, Schlittler, Heel, Warren, Yarbrough, Leiter Jr., Cruz, Hill, Weaver, Doval, Williams, and Bednar. There you go. Who the hell else is making this team? Nobody.
No one.
Absolutely
nobody.
This
and
thing
I
is
want to
locked
make sure,
shut.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I want to make sure we catch up on our supers because I know we do have, I think you said 5 voicemails. And guys, thank you for being part of the Diamond Club. We really appreciate you guys doing so. It really helps this channel out a lot, obviously, with our growth. Mark with the 5 says, re-sign Trent, so he's on our side there. AKA Swaggy T, AKA The Big Sleep, AKA Grish, AKA the man with a 100% chase rate. He was the main piece of the Soto trade. Clearly, yeah, long-term, he ended up being the most important piece for the Yankees. Obviously, short-term, Soto got us to the World Series, but Grisham, without him, I mean, where are the Yankees this year? I mean, it's a nightmare. It is probably calling up Spencer Jones earlier than the Yankees wanted to, whether that's a good thing or not in hindsight, but they would have probably been forced to do that or even trade for an outfielder to get immediate relief offensively, and that's not what you want. So, Mark, we appreciate that. And Jose, welcome in. Thank you for the 2. Says, Yankees will win the division, guys. Please screenshot. I'll go ahead and take a picture of it right now. Obviously, Jake is in there looking like The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the background. Nice chain. So, Jose,
thank you, sir.
Got you screenshotted in my phone. I will put you back up on the screen if we win this division. So, welcome aboard. Thank you. And Yankee Fangirl for Life with the 5, also a member here at Yankees Unloaded. We appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Says, if somehow we end up going and winning the World Series, is Boone a genius or Forrest Gump? I'm going to tell you guys like this. If the Yankees win the World Series, we can get off of Aaron Boone's back. Is he a
100%
highly flawed manager? Absolutely. But
so is Dave Roberts, though.
It's exactly where I was going with it. Dave Roberts doesn't know how to manage a bullpen at all. I promise you, I watch all these teams play. And more times than not, fans are unhappy with their manager. They just are, especially in winning time and in losing time when that's going on. And so we'll eat crow. If they win the World Series, what do we look like showing up at Yankees Unloaded going, no, but it was Boone was carried? It really kind of looks the same, Jake, as people who are like, yeah, Jalen Hurts isn't a good quarterback. It's just that the team is so good around him. It's like, well, since when our team's not great, they win the World Series, or win the Super Bowl? Of course they are, right? So that's really the gist of it. Aaron Boone gets the credit. If you win a World Series, that's what Yankees baseball is all about. It's not about, no, it wasn't your doing. It wasn't A-Rod's 09 World Series. It wasn't his run. It was really Matsui. That would sound ridiculous. It would. Just because someone, wins the MVP, now they carried you? No. Everyone has a role, and you can't win the World Series if Boone just sucks at his job. So, if the Yankees win, we're going to give him credit, and we're going to leave it there.
Yeah, and Mark is saying that we missed his super chat. So, also, I want to point out something brought up on the broadcast that bodes well for the postseason. We lead the league by a mile in walks. That's huge.
Well, that is...
Wait, this isn't pitching, right? No.
Right. So we're talking offensively, right? We lead the league in walks. Is that what this is?
That's what I'm seeing here.
It's a good thing, but it really coincides with what people think about the Yankees. They walk, strike out, or hit a home run. Now, I think the strikeouts have been honed in a little bit. It's not out of control. They do strike out. Our roster, even Aaron Judge strikes out, right? And that's where the game's headed. But Jake, we also have got a fight with runners in scoring position. And I'll add, I wanted to bring this up as the dessert to this point. We were 4 for 13 with runners in scoring position. That's serviceable today. That's actually getting it done. Yesterday, we were serviceable as well. I believe we were 4 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Now, again, that's against Chicago, but more times than not, when we play bad teams, we end up 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position, and we score 12 runs because all of our runs were scored via the home run. The Yankees have done it. I know they're hitting homers. They're doing it a little bit different this series, so I want to give them some props there, and maybe it's something to build on where you can do something other than walk or hit a homer.
It's kind of crazy they've hit 27 more home runs than the Dodgers, who are in second place. What's the record, by the way?
I believe the record, for some reason, I'm thinking that the Twins set the record. It was like 330. I don't know why
There's no way.
The Twins. I thought it was like the Twins in like 2015 or 16, something like that. Honestly, I don't know.
So you're right. The Twins in 2019 and the Braves actually tied them in 2023. 307.
Holy
so as much
nerd
as the
alert.
Yankees,
Yep.
as much as the Yankees have hit home runs, they're not going to get to 300.
Right. So, yeah, the Twins were hitting a bunch of homers, and no one was scared of their offense. There's a reason for that. A lot of people perceive that, yes, they hit a lot of homers. We'll be able to control them. Great pitching is going to beat home run hitters. And so we're going to find out if the Yankees can mix in some timely hitting. They do have the roster. In terms of construction, players like Jazz Chisholm, physically, they should be able to help in this area. Cody Bellinger, same deal. Paul Goldschmidt, probably teeing up against lefties. Aaron Judge needs to be a part of the solution there. We're not going anywhere if he doesn't play well. So the Yankees have a lot to lean on, but of course there are players like Wells, right? Ben Rice is going to help in that way. There are players on this roster that are just flat out not going to help you in that way. They're trying to hit a home run. Volpe, Wells, that's their game. So I'm looking forward to what they prove to us. It may be something really bad, but we're going to cover it either way. Jake, let's get to these voicemails. I'm looking forward to it. I know we've got 5. We've got a...
Did you hit on your mom, or are you going to ignore her?
No, I didn't even see this. I'm in the live chat right now. So hopped over into Supers. Yeah, because the live chat's been great. You guys have it. Thank you we love something that we care about the most actually is our chat rate. We talk about it after every show.
Yes.
You guys have been great tonight. So thank you for that. Lauren Michelle, just kidding. Mom, welcome in. Thank you for the 2. Says, we're less than 10 from 10,000. Give me my Yankees Unloaded t-shirt and hat. We're working on hoodies because obviously YouTube has the merchandise in our little area. Don't buy that garbage. We're actually, and I can just tell you guys now, we're working on merch that is high quality. It's going to be some of the best stuff you guys have seen. We can't wait to announce it and show it to you guys. We're going to have a whole website where you guys can take a look at everything you want. Mainly going to be hoodies. We're going to start off with that, t-shirts, and I believe tank tops for women. So, or unless, Jake, you want to wear a tank top.
Yeah, I was going to say, really? So tank tops are just for women now, huh? It's like, oh, okay,
True.
Now I get it.
Unless you're Jake, you'll wear it. So, yeah Mom, thank you.
I just don't have the gains I do. It's all good.
This is fair. No, this is fair. You've been going to the gym a lot. So,
oh, yeah, I live at the gym.
So we are less than 10 away. We are 9 subscribers away from 10,000. So, yeah, Mom, really appreciate it. I literally have to give my mom an update every morning. She's like, where are you guys? And yeah, we are going to be wearing our own merch on the show. I'll probably be wearing a hoodie. We keep our house 68 degrees with the fan blowing. I'm freezing right now. So
it sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a fan under my desk because it's 110 degrees in my office.
Cost of living in New York.
No, it's the cost of living when you have 8 screens. Do you know how much freaking heat it's generating? I'm getting baked, and then on top of it, you talk me into getting the dome light, which is literally just lighting me on fire right now.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how much equipment is around us because it looks so clean the way you're looking at us. I mean, there are literally, it looks like the sun is in my face.
It's insane. I had to put it off to the side because I have dry eye, and especially when I have the light, and it was too close to the camera. So I looked like I just saw a really romantic movie like The Notebook or something. It just killed me.
And Ninja, I wanted to answer this live on the pod. Yeah, we have to have it to the side. Ninja, so no. So he said, will the giveaway be on the same night we reach 10,000? It will not. We're going to be giving away probably the following day, so we can announce it live. We probably should record exactly how we're going to do it. Jake, I don't even know if we've discussed exactly how we're going to do it, but we'll get it figured out, and we'll announce exactly how that's happening. So, yeah, Ninja, appreciate the question. And Mark,
we're 9 away, by the way.
We are 9 away. And Mark with the 2 says, will you ever have meetups / live shows in the future? I think a live show would be awesome. Really cool. Just kind of working backwards here. But the first thing we're going to do for sure, Mark, I want to do meetups at spring training. I don't know how many people would like to make the trip to Tampa. I would love to go down there. I mean, the weather's going to be beautiful. Not as nice as Arizona, I will add. But would be a great time for us at spring training. And we're going to be doing the Audi Club thing next year. We're not exactly sure when. I did an event there before. I think it was in August, and it was hell on earth. And no one told me New York was just like you're standing on the surface of the sun in August, but it was very hot, and I'm not used to humidity. So we'll make it a comfortable month for you. And we did talk about roughly, right? We talked about it with Ronnie, where you guys would want to meet on the road. And that, so far, we've got people saying San Diego. I would not hate that. So we absolutely, Mark, will be doing meetups, and we can't wait to meet you guys. I mean, you guys have been awesome, and at this point, we're friends. So
yeah,
it's great.
No, absolutely. We really appreciate you guys for real, and we definitely we could take it to the next level and do these meetups. Then we're going to do them. You know, it's just a matter of getting everybody together and figuring things out, but let us figure that out, and then we'll tell you. So
yeah, Izzy says San Diego. He's all in.
All right, so let's do.
You're welcome, Mom.
Let's do some.
It's my pleasure.
Some voicemails here. We got one at 2:01. Ninja Hot Dog was chomping at the bit to drop a voicemail 5 hours before the game time. So let's see what happens.
Wow, this is a new low for Baboon. An article from The Atlantic has come out, and here are some quotes from it. Boone says, quote, first of all, he's a more productive offensive player than he gets credit for. He also says, quote, I don't think he should be sent down. I think mentally and emotionally he's still much better equipped to handle this than people might imagine. He says, I think we'll get him through this. He says, let me see. I have it written down. He says, I have another good player sitting there. I have a guy I could put in there who's a really good player, but we aren't using him. So I don't know why. Boone is awful, and this article is proof. Fire Baboon.
Yeah. You wanted to talk about this. I personally will defend Volpe for today's game, and today's game only, because I'm going game by game. But I also told you I did not like this. I understand you want to defend your player, but there is not one player on this team that Aaron Boone sticks his neck out for more than Anthony Volpe, and fans are just kind of tired of it at this point. And, you know, he would tell you, like, honestly, if he heard this, he'd be like, well, this is the only guy I'm grilled on. Actually, I don't think that's true. You've been grilled on Jazz before. You know, you've been grilled on Judge before. You've been grilled on Stanton before. You've been grilled on LeMahieu before. He's a player's manager. But when it's Volpe, it's like it's his son. I'm tired of it. I could have gone without hearing that there's no planet where he would send Volpe down to AAA. You can say, okay, yeah, we don't feel like that's the best course of action. Before today, Anthony Volpe was one of the worst hitters in baseball, if not the worst. Okay. Now, I understand he's gotten out of his slump a little bit in 2 games, but we don't know. He could go back to doing his thing. And again, I'm not trying to get him in trouble for something he hasn't done yet, but my biggest point here is I don't like how Boone does this thing where he wants everyone to feel stupid because they disagree with, and it's not just one person who has an idea. It's a lot of people who have come to the conclusion this isn't working. It's a Meredith Marakovitz asking him totally normal questions and him saying Anthony Volpe's fucking elite, right?
Didn't it remind you of Joel Sherman asking the question? You're talking about before the year ever started.
100%.
If he's having a great season, he wins the Gold Glove and goes out there and scores 100 runs for us, what are you going to say then? This is the reason why Aaron Boone was hired. It doesn't matter what Anthony Volpe does. Anthony Volpe's played good baseball other than the error, right? And we covered that. Other than that, he's played good baseball the last 2 days.
Yeah.
We covered both of them. We didn't ignore it. We covered every single thing well he did. But he just actually got up there on the platform and said, he's underrated. Oh, no, sending him down? We didn't even consider it. Mental fortitude through the roof. Why would we need to hear that? What's the point of talking to us? You actually know what the room is waiting for you to say. We don't think you're going to say Volpe sucks. We're waiting on you to tell us a logical explanation of why he plays over the remaining options. That was it. And now it's just bad timing. So we're not going to rehash, hey, we need to do Caballero. Not bad timing. If he performs poorly in big games, it circles right back to you, and it's almost to the point where Aaron Boone gets frustrated that people even question anything he does as if he's not the manager of the Yankees. He acts like he's managing Cincinnati. You're not in Cincinnati. You're not. And I get it. Cincinnati's not meant to be disrespected in any way here. There's no coverage in Cincinnati like we have here. Just not. You knew when you became the manager of the Yankees, every move you make is going to be under a microscope. And if you make the wrong move, people are going to notice. If you make the right move, maybe people might overlook it because of mistakes you've been making in the past. And that's what makes this job tough. But when you win the World Series, we just give you all the credit in the world. More credit than any other team will give you. So I think it was ridiculous to hop on the mic and just act like Anthony Volpe has the mentality of a Giancarlo Stanton. He's unfazed. No, Giancarlo Stanton is unfazed. And the performance proves that.
Yeah, I absolutely. And look, at some point or another, you can't have it both ways. Like, Boone comes off as a genuine dude, who's defending his players, and I like that. But at some point or another, you kind of come off as an asshole when you're constantly, making people feel stupid and having those combative, the moments, right? Like with people that are not your players. And so I'm not saying he has to, just get along with everybody, but that is one of the things that kind of comes off as a little fake because, and I've told you, it's like, I want to like this guy. I really want Boone to be the guy, and I want us to not really have to worry about, letting him go and then finding another jabroni who's probably going to have the same role as him. But at the same time, like, I just want like a fair, like a manager that doesn't have these preconceived biases. And it just feels like Anthony Volpe, for whatever reason, he got really close to when he was in, spring training. He went to bat for him. And it feels like there's a bias there. Like Anthony Volpe can do no wrong.
It's like the kid that sits front row. You sort of know that maybe the person sitting front row in a class, in your English class senior year, maybe they're not the most talented, but they're certainly, they call them the teacher's pet, right?
Yeah.
The teacher's pet was never the smartest kid in the class. Never. But you know what they always got? Favorable judgment, favorable grading. And if there was anything they needed to rewrite, you best believe that teacher, hey, go ahead and turn that in after hours. I'll regrade it. And they treat them with special treatment. They're bubble wrapped. The other students just get graded. If you fail the class, they don't give a rip. But the person who sits front row, they have a bond, a relationship. That's what I see. I feel it feels very teacher's petty to me, and you called it father-son behavior. It is. I'll back you on that. I don't want people to think that's over the line. It is not. It feels exactly like that because it's proven no matter how bad he plays, you'll just say the positive thing, the positive spin, which I guess is a good thing if he's going to play anyways. You might as well say something positive while he's out there. But I don't know. It seems a little silly to me. Who's our next voicemail?
Ninja Hot Dog.
I think you said we had a couple, right?
Yeah, that's 3 hours later, so after the game, I would imagine.
I love these progressions.
I know.
Yo, what up? Ninja here. We won. We stat padded again against a bad team. and you can tell it was a bad team because Wells and Volpe both got hits, but at least they did something. All we have to do now is just pray what happens against a good team, I guess. Trent Grisham, I'm very proud of him. Hopefully we can find a way to make space for him, but I'm worried we won't be able to with Judge, Belly, and Jones. Also, Yankee fangirl for life here. Say hi. What do you think?
Hey, I want to keep Grisham. I say keep Grisham. But also, I really, really want us to beat the good teams, the ones over 500.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. We need to beat the good teams to prove we're postseason worthy and that we can make it far, unlike last year where we beat up on the bad teams and then crumbled. Fire Baboon.
Well, we got
So
a
Boston-
Yankees fangirl for life cameo.
Yeah, I love that.
That was
Technically,
awesome.
Boston's not beating good teams either. Unless you call us a good team, maybe you think that.
Yeah.
Boston's beating the brakes off of us, but the remaining teams over 500, and we are that, Boston is actually playing much worse than we are. Much worse. If you take out their record against us, which still counts, I mean, let's not act like it doesn't. But if you remove their record from us, they're a bad team against teams over 500. So, Toronto's the only team that's proven a lick against good teams within our division. So we all have something to prove. Toronto has to prove they can hold on to this lead. Boston's got to prove they can beat someone that's good, I guess, other than us. And we've got to prove we can beat teams that are good over a 500 clip. All of us have something to prove. Just a matter of who you ask. So great super there. Thank you.
Yeah. And the Yankees got to keep beating the bad teams too. So,
Yep.
you know, they can't get on this high horse. Oh, we won 6 straight. Now we're going to slack off. No. Got to keep it going. I believe they will.
Yep.
All right. Now we got Guy.
Hello, everyone. Just when you thought Volpe was out, he pulls us back in.
Sounds
That
like
was quite a
Volpe.
shot tonight, and the homer, and he didn't pull the ball either. So I don't know what we're going to get out of him, but looking good in the last couple of days. On the expansion, I think the players coming up will be Slater and Yarborough. Just makes the most sense. Unless they sneak in Yarborough early and want to release one of the pitchers they have here right now and then bring someone else up. So I don't know who that would be. I haven't really thought that through. But I really like what Gary said last night. The Houston series is the biggest series of the year to date, without a doubt. And they need to win it, 2 out of 3, whatever. Because by the time we play the Blue Jays, who lost tonight, we're now 3 games back and a half up on the Sox. By the time we play them, we could be like a game back. So, you know, it's possible. When did we ever think this was possible? And it's only going to be the beginning of September. So let's see what happens. I'm out. All right.
All right.
What do you
Yeah.
think about his comment about Volpe going the other way? Because actually, in hindsight, more players than not, like if you actually judge the average hitter and you see them go the other way, like we saw Austin Wells go the other way. I tweeted it was the best swing I saw him take in 15 months. Laser to left field. It was great. I practically stood up off my couch seeing the contact. I mean, that's how much of nerds we are, Jake.
Oh, yeah.
But let's be real here. Anthony Volpe, when he gets himself in trouble, he is late and almost working the ball to right field out of emergency. And I don't want to diminish hitting a home run to dead center field. That's a good thing. But Anthony Volpe also, when he's actually going to go right, he's got to be able to pull the ball as well. I remember our coverage on Aaron Judge and Jake, you actually brought this up, and I believe your dad brought something up along these lines as well. You mentioned that Aaron Judge had reached another level offensively, and one of the things that he was bringing up that helped his game was pulling the ball a little bit more. Using right field is a good thing, but using right field is only great when you're also using left field, because if you're only using right in short porch homers and you're always going that direction, maybe there's a reason for it and it's not a good reason. So I want to see both. I want to see exactly what you saw today, but I also want to see in some of these series as we come up to, I want to see if Volpe can pull the ball and hit some fastballs with authority, to the pull side.
No, I like that, and I agree with that. It does feel like, yeah, he's a little bit late on it. But yeah, so we got Kyle to wrap it up here.
Hey, Jake and Gary, this is Kyle Malay. Just became a Diamond level member, so I thought I'd call in and leave a voicemail. Great win by the Yankees. They need to sweep the White Sox, and I still don't believe in Volpe. He does this all the time. He goes a couple games being good, and then he sucks again. So yeah, let's all have a good night, and let's go Yankees, and let's win the next 2, and then our real tests are going to be the next 12 games after this. All right, guys, have a good day, and love the show.
Well, we appreciate you, Kyle. It's been a long time talking with you. I mean, we've done over 300 episodes at this point. Gary got rid of my tally with his new thing there, so I don't know what episode we're on, but
Oh, I did get rid of it. Yeah. I don't know that it's important. I mean, do people care? I mean, we care because it's like it's ours.
Yeah, I mean, now I have no idea. I think we're probably like 308. I can check it and then just.
But I
put
mean,
it
people
on.
go to like Joe Rogan's show, and Joe Rogan's like, "I'm on episode 2,400." I'm like, well, who cares?
Well, milestones. You get to episode 500. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. It's an accomplishment, but. I don't know. I hear what you're saying. I want to get to the super chat.
Yeah,
but
you're just lame. It's all good. No,
I am lame. Colin Creed with the 2 says, I hate rooting for Volpe not to have a hit. Hate. Like I said before, guys, I'm rooting for players to play well. If Volpe didn't make the lineup, he doesn't get to walk up to the lineup card and pencil himself in. That's not how it works. He sits at home. He goes, all right, I got to make my way to the stadium. He shows up. He looks up at the card and says, oh, I'm hitting 6th. I'm playing shortstop. All right. Haven't gotten a hit in 37 at-bats. I got to try to get something going here. That's his mentality, and the game starts. And then in hindsight, people criticize if he doesn't perform. He doesn't make the lineup. So if he's out there, I'm rooting for him to succeed. I am. Now, when we get to arbitration this offseason, now the rooting for you stops. It does. That's where it stops, because now we're in a position where you're asking me, what should we do with this player? And now I can tell you. But if he's on the field, me rooting against him, how does that help us run down, like stay ahead of Boston? How does it help us tee up a series with Toronto? It doesn't. If Anthony Volpe, your shortstop, ends up stinking, Colin, I would assume, Colin, you're rooting for the team to win, but Volpe to play bad so we can put someone better in there. They're not making that choice, so we should just know that and just root for the undeserving player who's playing to just play well for whatever reason.
Yeah. No, I mean, the thing with Volpe is that, he's a frustrating player. I can give you all of my reasons why I think he should be in AAA right now, even though he had a good game today. But I know they're not going to do anything. And I actually go through this a lot, either with the Yankees, maybe sometimes with my Lakers. Like, they're playing a certain guy in the rotation. They're not giving another guy minutes. I see it all the time in the NFL. They cut the guy that I didn't want them to cut. He goes to Gary's team. I'm furious.
It's usually D'Angelo Russell, let's be real.
No.
Every year D'Angelo Russell's on the Lakers, they're like, get this dude off the floor. And then he comes back and they're like, gotta love it. And then they hate him again. He's traded. So
yeah, it does feel like he's been traded a zillion times.
It does. I feel like he's been traded 3 times.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he has. Who the hell knows at this point? I've lost count. So, but the point being is, I mean, I even had it like when I was really into hockey. I don't have time to watch hockey anymore, unfortunately. But when I got really into hockey, because I like 2 teams, the Vegas Knights and the Devils, you get to know, like, if you're like Gary, if you get really into it, you can actually remember all 4 of the lines and the defensemen. So, like, when you get really into it and then you have those guys kind of on the fringe of making the roster and they're, like, scratched that day and they don't dress or whatever, sometimes you'll be like, why is this guy not playing? Or why is this guy not playing? And then the one guy that's playing that you don't want him to play, well, now he's got a giant, target on his back from you, because you already kind of go in like he shouldn't be playing. But really, the reality is, no matter what I say about Volpe, I know the Yankees, at least in 2025, are not moving him a millimeter from shortstop. They're
We're going
just
to be
not
walking
doing it.
around. We're going to be walking around winter meetings, representing Yankees Unloaded in the lobby, and we're going to be asking these exact same questions to reporters, GMs, everyone. I mean,
Yeah.
all these questions are going to be asked then. We're going to be doing lives from a lobby of a hotel, and none of these questions are going away. And it could even amplify. But Jake, I think we're both on the same page here. We're not going to root against Anthony Volpe. We don't care if it's Anthony Volpe, if it was Isaiah Connor-Falefa, or if it was Francisco Lindor. We don't care who was over there. If you're over there as the shortstop of our team, we're going to root for you to succeed. And we already know if you fail, you're not coming off the field. So why would I root for you to fail? Why now should I root for you to fail? If you now know this manager, they have a relationship that is just, it's not going to erode with poor performance. It's not. So why would you root for poor performance? What are you going for? What's the angle? Like a Joe Girardi, for example, if he saw poor performance, yeah, maybe I can see what you're saying, and he would go a different direction. But if you know the manager is 2 feet in the sand, well, you're now forced. You now 2025 rides on somewhat of the performance of Volpe. So I'm rooting for it to work. Colin, thank you for the super. And Chris, thank you for the 5. Really appreciate that. Says Jake and Gary, you both are the de facto Yankees pod. And I can't thank the time, effort, and words after every game really get us through the ups and downs. Chris, thank you. I mean, it's good to have some ups here. It's nice. Yeah. And I would probably say the best part about this week, and I think Jake probably agrees, the negative stuff goes way further in the Twitter space, YouTube, the algorithm. I mean, people love to hate watch. It's very fun to have people put down what you're thinking when it's going bad. But our audience in a couple of wins here with some momentum has been great. So thank you guys, obviously, for being here. We have the best audience in Yankees YouTube. It's not even close. So thank you for that, Chris. Welcome aboard. And Kyle, who recently became a diamond level, really appreciate that, Kyle. Thank you for the 2. Says, I need an Aaron Judge jersey, LOL. Let's go Yanks. So he's trying to milk it for the giveaway. We've got 8 subscribers away. I see you, Kyle. I see you working. I see. And Anthony Hall with the 10 says, all due respect, Judge going opposite field for homers is an adjustment he made due to the pitches he sees we use to pull the ball a lot. Pitchers became fearful. Yeah, this is something that Judge did talk about. There's ways to, I mean, certain players, they use the pull side a lot more than others, right? My dad didn't go to right field. How many times did you see him use the short porch? He's not. He's using Death Valley in left center field or down the left field line more times than not. But there's also a way to weaponize going the other way. But where you get yourself in trouble is when you exclusively use the opposite field. Now, some players will be an outlier to this, like a Luis Arias is a type of player where he's constantly spraying the ball the other way, and it works for him. But for Anthony Volpe, who hasn't really proven anything long-term, I want to see, I think this is a simple way to put it, Jake, I want to see him use all fields. That includes the pull side.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I mean, right now I just want to see Judge look comfortable again. He still has his moments where it's like, oh, wow, he's blistering the ball. And then
I'm with you.
He's not, it's tough. I feel like it's one of those things, though, where if he gets into September, I feel like that's going to be a little bit of a, I also am going to say this, Gary. I feel confident in saying this. He's going to hit way better when he's playing the field.
I mean, I think that's fair to say. You have to imagine what's going on pregame. He's probably dealing with people asking him questions about his arm. He also has to go to the trainer's room and work on his arm. It's not like he's just eating Skittles in the locker room and then walks out to the field and puts a helmet on and hits. There's a whole process, and your routine is different, right?
Yes.
David Ortiz talked about the difference between starting in Minnesota and then changing his routine to being a DH. Now I'm going to go hit in the cage. Everything changes. Giancarlo Stanton also talked about it. He even said it actually helps keep me involved when I'm playing the field. You think Aaron Judge is just completely absent of that? He just doesn't see any of it? Of course he does. We pulled up the numbers, and he has good numbers as a DH. He's Aaron Judge. But I agree with you. I think getting out into the field, you said he wouldn't be out there for the rest of the regular season, but he would be out there for the playoffs. I have no idea when he's going to be out there, but I'm with you 100%. I think when he gets out there, you're going to see a different version of him, and that's all we can hope for at this point.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's exactly it. And I'm tending to lean on that. Like, I feel like Judge's September is going to be really good. I think there's two things that benefit Judge. The idea of him going back to right field, which, as you said, it kind of gets him back into his routine. Also, his numbers are really good in the field. And then, in addition to that, of course, you have just turning the flip in the calendar a little bit, right? Because I'll tell you right now, those splits from month to month to month, I mean, that tells you all you need to know. It's a mental game, and a lot of these guys, they hit better in certain months. I feel like Judge just turning it over. Normally he's great in August, but he's been through a lot with this injury.
Right.
I think September he's going to kind of turn the page and really start to emerge again. And he, just like a lot of these guys that are playing for contracts, Trent Grisham in a contract year, Aaron Judge knows the MVP is really going to come down to this month. If he doesn't pick it up, it's going to Cal Raleigh. Whether that you agree with it or not, hitting 240.
The momentum is there. And we've seen players, by the way, with far superior numbers.
Yes.
Lose out on MVPs over... I mean, I literally watched Dustin Pedroia win the MVP, with all due respect. I saw players...
Vladimir won it over a 52 home run Aaron Judge, basically in his rookie
ridiculous.
year.
It's
most
absolutely
insane shit I've ever seen.
It is ridiculous. So narrative is involved. Now, will Cal Raleigh win the MVP? I'm not going to make any predictions, but narrative is super important. Momentum's important. And if you don't play good baseball in September, really the important months of the year, should you really blame, and I'm not saying I agree with it, but should you blame the voters for maybe voting for a player who has really great numbers in Seattle and, I don't know, he plays better baseball in September? Maybe they do go that direction. So something to earn for Aaron Judge. This is a good thing. And just obviously to wrap it up here, Apex with the Super says, can G and Judge swap right field and DH days now that G is good? I'm going to say this about the whole swapping thing. Here's the one issue you do run into. I would say technically speaking, this would be good, but what gives us the hoop here to jump through is the lefty-righty matchups, because all of a sudden the Yankees are going to want to find ways to make sure maybe they fit in a Paul Goldschmidt at the DH spot against left-handers, and I don't know, it creates another hoop where one guy's got to be off the field for this reason, he's got to be on for another. But I would say the only problem with this is just, when is Judge going to be ready? And when Jake, if you're right, and it ends up being the postseason, do I want them really swapping in and out? Probably not. I just say if Judge can throw the ball, you just leave him out in right field, and I just leave it there.
Yeah, no, of course. I think, really, it's funny because it's really all about, Raleigh and Judge. Like, there's nobody else in the waiting. No. I think we're going to see Judge in September throwing in right field. We've already seen Stanton, and Stanton looks like he's barely holding on. He doesn't look good out in right field. We're okay with that because you get the bat. But this is very much a temporary solution. This is not something you're going to normally advocate for. Judge is your right fielder. Now, I think we see that. I think we see that in the Houston series. That's when I think we see it, because it's perfect. You have the day off, right? You have the day off, and then the next day, Judge can, after the day off, Judge can be back in the field. And real quick, as we wrap this up, Colin is actually making a really good point here. Schedule your posts. It'll allow us to comment.
Posts of what?
So this is a good point because Gary, Colin is saying that we should schedule the live streams way in advance, right?
Okay.
So people can literally have chats. Like, use the thing as a chat. so we could schedule it way in advance, have a default picture, whatever.
I see.
And yeah, I think we can do that.
Don't hate it at all. I don't hate it.
Yeah, we can comment before you go live. Yeah, probably boost the algorithm too. If you guys are
Colin, we can
commenting.
definitely do that. It's not a problem at all. It's something we'll definitely consider. We'll take a look at it, and then obviously you'll see it if it's up there.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Mom. Yeah, maybe show up earlier. Yeah. Appreciate it.
All right, cool. So yeah, I like the idea though from Colin. I think I did that. The one of the solo ones I did, I tried it. I didn't really see a difference, but we can try it again. So I think we got all the supers. Really appreciate you guys, everyone that left a super. Comments section. What you got, Gary?
Oh, you really shouldn't ask me. I never know. Let's see here. I'll say this. Which team do you think wins this division? Toronto's in lead, and they play us. Tough schedule. Boston, much tougher schedule than we've got. They play us, and they're going to be playing us for a 3-game set at Fenway. Who wins this division? Is it the Yankees? Is it the Blue Jays? Or is it the Red Sox? I said earlier in this show, it's all going to come down to, I said that Houston series was the most important series of the year, but I feel the winner of that Yankees-Red Sox series is going to win this division. That was my take. And I can't even make a prediction for you. I almost feel it feels ridiculous to predict the Yankees to win this division. But I'm going to say the winner of that series wins the division. Drop in the comment section who you think is winning this division. If you had to say today, on August 29th, we're in win time now. This is a pennant race. Drop that in the comment section. Make sure you guys subscribe to Yankees Unloaded. We are 8 subscribers. By the time you wake up in the morning and we go live tomorrow, we will be at 10K. So thank you guys a ton. We really appreciate our new diamond levels, our new members, second deck, first, field level. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it, and all the supers and the lives. And of course, Jake, anything else? Just like the video?
Yeah. Yep. Like the video. We'll be back later tomorrow night.
In the comments, like this video.